How you guys doing? Welcome back. My name is Evan. This is Buy the Bulls Trading, the only YouTube channel that just wants you, encourages you, nay, almost forces you to take your stock trading just by the bulls. Let's get it, boys. So I usually have another big intro. I kind of go through a bunch of stuff. Not today. I'm still in this new job intro course stuff, and it's like 9 to 5, and so I just got done with that. So I'm pretty beat. And so I have to kind of just get through these stocks as quickly as possible, get you the information in a quality way. No BS, stocks you never even heard of before. A bunch of great stuff here. If you enjoy this content, firstly, go check out the 25-part class for free on my YouTube. It's great. I'm actually paid to make courses. I'm also a licensed educator. And so if anyone's going to make a good course for you for stock trading, it's probably going to be me. Secondly, if you really want daily newsletters at night and in the morning over these picks and more, check out the patreon.com. It's in the description box down below. It also does have a Discord where you can talk to me directly, ask me questions, be part of the community. A bunch of great stuff in there as well. I'm doing a 50% off sale. As long as we are in a bear market, I will give you half off. That's in return because there's not as much trading going on, not as much going on. And so I feel like it's a good thing for me to do as a person. Instead of charging full price, you get half off. Description box down below. Go check it out. With that being said, 8 great stocks today. I have some longs. I have some shorts. They're all different. They're all little baby snowflakes. Let's check them out together. I'm super excited. It's been a really good Tuesday. And with that being said, let's get into it. So first is ASMB. That's a good name. This is a really easy short. If we zoom out to the 10-year, we can see it's just been coming down quicker and quicker and quicker. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Yeah, you may have some nice, consolidation periods, but this thing never seems to keep its footing at all. It always seems to be falling quicker. And we have a really nice resistance. Yes, you could have had one closer to $2, but there's clearly one in this 220 range. On top of that, you have lower highs. These are very consistent, 3 or 4 lower highs at this point. Couple that with the uptrend that it recently had, just kind of broke down. I mean, it's not perfect. It is pretty steep, but it's broken down and it's not gotten a higher high. It's a tiny one, but it's not quite there yet. And then secondly, what I really like is that the POC is here. If you don't know what that is, watch my YouTube video about volume profile. This is the strongest volume node on this chart. It's a great support when you're above it, but it's also a great resistance when you're below it. It is gravitational. That's the pro of it. It wants you to come closer to it. So it wants to pull us higher, but it's so strong that if you get a 3 or 4% move, there's a good chance you're going to stall out here. Do you see how in the past we stall out here a bunch of times and make a bunch of moves off of it? And even over here, it hits it and drops, hits it and drops. It's a very strong resistance. You have traditional resistance, the POC, and lower highs all in the same spot. I don't see it surviving here. I like what I see for a short if the markets go red tomorrow. Let's check out the indicators together real quick. Get the full picture, my guy. What we can see is that a 10 EMA crossover is a really good sign of it starting to die off. Now, again, it's not perfect. Some stocks like the 10, some like the 50, some love the 200. This stock likes the 50 a lot. It respects the 50 quite more, as you can see over here, than the 10. But a 10 cross under is always a good sign. So you want to wait for 3 or 4%. Yeah, 3 or 4%. What an eye. For this to drop, to then cross under and then go short, that makes a lot of sense for me for a momentum kind of short here. RSI is at 57. 45 is fair, so it's a bit higher. Stochastic, let me just reset this. Stochastic looks like it's forming a bearish divergence. Those are lower highs, but these are all higher highs right there. That's a higher high. So it looks like it's starting to kind of form a bearish divergence. And at 27, it's a bit overbought. Bulls are high, bears are low. That looks good to me. ASMB is a good short to me. I should wrap. Now, overall, I think with the lower highs, the history of just selling off, yeah, it may make a big move here. It kind of looked like an upside down reverse head and shoulders, but I don't see it. I don't think it's going to do anything. Biofarms are getting smacked in the mouth. If you like shorting and tomorrow's red, I would start my morning there. ASMB, easy short. I do like what I see. Next is CDEV. What I love about CDEV, again, in the 10-year chart, it's a very nice channel up. We can see it's been super clear. There's my price targets. You want to join my Discord, you get those thrown in. You can see we have really nice moves up here. I'm going to put them in this one. 1, 2, 3 solid hits. Now this fourth one, there's not been a double test like this in a very long time, and this is a very powerful move down. We're talking close to what, like 30% of just selling off. Is CDEV worth 30% less than over here? I don't think so. Looks like it's an earnings overreaction kind of thing, but it has a really nice support spot, right? Anywhere from like 630 to 660 in here is a very nice support. We'll see if it makes a double bottom. That'd be nice. You have higher highs, you have the same lows, and a very nice channel up here. Again, the POC is going to be gravitational, and so it wants us to be closer to 740. Even that's a nice 10% move in this kind of market. 10% in a few days, you take what you get. That's not a bad move at all. Great channel up. West is the same exact setup. This is a great channel up. Very low risk here. If you want to monitor risk, which in a bear market you kind of have to, you can say, all right, I'll risk 4%, 5%. It breaks down, you're out. But a good move is 10, a great move is 20, and a reasonable but a nice skyrocket move is 30%. Either way, CDEV, great risk versus reward. So there's 2 ways to enter a stock. Real quick. There's 2 ways to enter a stock. The first way is value. And that's an easy idea. You go, wow, this stock is cheap. What a value. And then you enter. Wow. The second is momentum. And that's what the 10 EMA and the 50 EMA usually show me. You get a cross over the 10 or cross over the 50 for a long stock, a cross under, like for ASMB. A cross under shows momentum. You're waiting for a confirmation of a reversal here. CDEV is 100% a value entry. You're not going to wait almost 8% here, 600% for a crossover. It gives up almost all your reward. So this is definitely a value entry. RSI, it's low. You love to see it. No divergence, all lower lows, lower highs. But it's a great value. Bottoms out a bunch here at 76. And then bulls are super low. Bears are super high. I don't know if CDEV is going to show life here. I hope it does. It's a really, really nice setup. It's a great channel up. You have to be cautious, though, in a bear market. When these things pick up steam, it's like having weights. Like the longer and harder this goes, the more weight you're adding to the bench bar or whatever it is, the leg press. It just keeps going. So don't get sold, don't get falling in love with a stock. It's a great setup, but have risk management. CDEV, I love what I see. I would definitely watchlist it. Next is DRH. I actually called DRH for a breakout over here. It ran up like 4 or 5%, and then it collapsed. So I wasn't wrong, but I wasn't as right as I thought I was going to be. That's a very nice support play. We can zoom out again, and we can see it's just a super nice support. It's been that way for a very long time, and hopefully it holds again. Now, if you are more bearish in the markets, you're like, hey, I wanted to short the stock. Well, it's at $8. So under $8, you can just short. Over $8, you can go long. Wow. Who knew? It's that simple. Why make it harder than it has to be? So I think if DRH breaks beneath like 790, we're talking short, easy short can come down 5-6% very quickly and continue down. But, you know, you have a gap that wants to be filled here, a gap that wants to be filled here, and the support's very strong. Folks who buy technical stocks will see this and think it's a really good value. Very low risk, 2 or 3% at most, and you could easily make 9 to 12, so like a 4 to 1 for a small move it's made 5 or 6 times before. Simple play. Easy play. I like what I see. Can we use our indicators? Again, this is a value entry. We're not going to be like, okay, we'll wait 7% for a crossover. If this does muddle around for a few days and goes sideways like this, the stock goes sideways, and that, you know, this comes down kind of like this, then you can talk about EMA crossover. But for now, we're talking about a value entry. RSI, it's low. Stochastic, you could argue, one could argue it's making a nice bullish divergence. When the bottoms don't match, it's bullish. When the tops don't match, it's bearish. That's definitely a bullish divergence at -68. Love that. Bulls are low, bears are high. Just like with CDEV, it's right where you want it. I mean, you have a good chance it's going to break down. Let's not sugarcoat things. There's a chance it's going to happen. But the risk management aspect makes it a very appealing play, especially if you have over 25K and you don't have the day trading rule in place for you, the PT rule. If you don't have that, it's a really good play. DRH, I'd watch list it. I do like what I see. HLT is DRH if it does break down. Super nice support here. And then this morning it finally broke down. This is a momentum play. You're not going to be able to buy value to short at 114.50 anymore. It's like 4%, 3% away. But we could easily see a move of 4 or 5% more to the downside at least. If not, probably down to $98 and some change. What was a very nice support play went up and then broke down. This area has never been a support. This was it once before. HLT with this momentum, lower lows, lower highs, no sign of life. It didn't hold up. I think it's been easy short here. If you like momentum, quick plays like scalping, day trading, I would check out HLT for a short tomorrow. Good put play. When you're under the 10 EMA line, you're going to have a good time, especially under the 50 and 200, which are also above us now. You had a death cross there, and while we're beneath the 10 EMA line, especially the 50, shorting makes a lot of sense here. It has no life. RSI, it's low. That's fine. Stochastic, again, it's low. And bulls and bears are not as separated as I thought they're going to be, meaning that we have more room to drop here. Again, technical analysis over indicators. So, again, this is a very bearish technical play. But even this vortex being so close shows that bulls have plenty of room to drop and bears have more room to run for a second time. HLT for a short tomorrow, if you like the kind of like momentum, like it's going to die, keep selling, keep selling, keep selling, I'd start there tomorrow. I like what I see. I'm not talking about it as much because it's such a simple play of just a support breaking and it's going to come down to the next level. If markets are red, I would definitely check it out. HLT, I'd watch list it. I do love what I see. Halfway through our show, on the next one is HQY, another really easy short here in my opinion. Consistent lower highs and then consistent lower lows until recently. But again, you can see we had a nice uptrend here and it broke down. We have another uptrend over here. And you could argue it's getting very close to breaking down again. So underneath 65, we're going to see that. Once again, like our ASMB play, the POC here will be your strongest resistance and your strongest support. If it's me, I would wait for a red candle. This will be green because it's the color I have as my default. I want a red candle to hold underneath the POC. That to me will show, okay, this is now going to be a resistance. Tie that with, you're going to have lower low then at that point probably. And this trend most likely breaking. It's lower lows, lower highs. This trend line's holding beautifully. Earnings overreacted. Looking to come back down here. You could easily risk 4 or 5%. All right, I'll risk 5% here for a breakout. But I could easily see a downtrend of 10 to even close to 20%. Great risk reward, easy short. I love what I see. This is what you want to see with a short too. It's beneath the 10 EMA line. Now, it's obvious this player respects the 50 a whole lot more than the 10. See how when it hits the 10, it's pretty good. Like it's pretty consistent. But that 50 is absolutely rock solid here. So if you want to wait for a 50 cross under, I'm not mad at you, but I think a 10 cross under is a really good sign, at least to manage risk here. RSI, it's high. Stochastic, it's fair at best. It's fair. And then bulls are high, bears are low, meaning we have plenty of room to run down here. HQY, if tomorrow's red, that ASMB look like really easy shorts to me. I love what I see. I mean, you're talking 5-10% on a quick move here, risking 2 or 3. It's a good setup. I like what I see. I would definitely watch list HQY. Next is MPWR. I'm low-key salty. My alerts didn't work the other day when it hit here. I was like, all right, I'll wait for the first pullback. And we're kind of seeing the first pullback now. I think MPWR has a great support spot in 392 to 391. Anywhere in here is a good support. And of course, you could argue, well, it's 377. It's very possible. That's an equally as good support, right? But you have a great trend here. Wrong button. You have a great trend here. 4 or 5 solid hits. Great resistance trend, 4 or 5 solid hits, making a beautiful horizontal triangle. It's going to break out one way or the other. You'll notice that horizontal wedges that look like this, right? I guess it'd be this way for the camera, but this way, it's like a spring coiling. Click, 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 and the tighter it gets, the bigger the move is going to be. And so we can see it's getting real tight. See this big moves before? Big wave, big wave, big wave. Now tight, 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 tight. So we should see a big move eventually. I think that right here is a good value. Your first pullback, you could risk 2 or 3% and try and go for about, 10 to 15 pretty easily. Before we check out the EMA lines, to further show my point that this is a consolidation play, if all 3 EMA lines are in between the resistance trend and the supporting trend, that means it's definitely a consolidation play. So if you see the 3 EMA lines between those 2, it means it's a consolidation play. Let's check it out together. Oh, wouldn't you know? Resistance trend, support trend, all 3 are going sideways directly in the middle. It's a breakout play. All right, you can buy into value into a breakout play, but you're going to be holding this play for maximum profit weeks, if not months, and it's kind of market. It could be shaky, so be careful. A 10 crossover, it's fine. The 50 is better. If you want to do that, that's great. RSI, it's low. Stochastic, you could argue it's making a bearish divergence here, which I'd be careful of. So I think that there's a chance that we're going to see a pullback to value. So I'd wait for that myself. Bulls and bears are tied. If bulls cross over, you'll see a 10 cross. You'll see bears kind of stop out or start buy in. So you should see move over the 50. So if it's me, you have to show patience either way. You want to wait for a 50 crossover? Patience. You want to wait for value? patience. It's in the middle of those two things. Wait for a 50 cross, wait for a draw, 20 more bucks. In my opinion, in those two spots, then you're cooking with some, cooking with some elbow grease. That's not the saying, but I like to mix those together. It's okay. MPWR, I like what I see. I would definitely watch this then. Next is Wes. It's the same play as CDEV, minus one extra hit. CDEV had 3 hits and then the new one, but you could argue this spot and like that spot, it's close to being 4 or 5 solid hits. The resistance trend is obvious. The supporting trend is obvious. You have a really nice support line. We're at 2250. You have a bunch of layers of support here. Again, you're risking 3 or 4% to make 7 or 8 for a small move. So 2 to 1, but you can see 3 to 1, 4 to 1 pretty easily here. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Just a great trend line coming together with convergence of our support line. And I do love what I see here. Right, the same exact play as CDEV. No point being a dead horse. The difference with this is that CDEV had no EMA crossover. You could wait 2% to get a 10 EMA crossover. Is it consistent? Kind of. And again, in these kinds of markets, we see more consistent 50 EMA crossover. See the purple line, how it respects that more. But the 10, you have some nice run-ups. But again, the 50 is what you want to see. I wouldn't wait for a 50 crossover. That's like 12% away. But you could do a 10. If you cross the 50, you're good to go. RSI, it's low. Stochastic, it's low. Bulls are low. Bears are high. Again, a 10 cross is fine. But I think you have value now. And if you want to wait for a short-term reversal, you can. But I do love what I see here. Same play as CDEV. It's a bit cheaper, I think. And it's probably better support play, but a worse trend line play than that one. But I do love what I see. Great risk management. WES, I'd watch list it. I do love what I see. Last is WLL, Waiting Petroleum Corp. Now again, it's like DBO. All right. What a call. I said it shorted. Oh, it's down 5%. What a win. This is an oil play that's coming down. WLL is a petroleum play. It's coming down. So again, do your fundamental analysis. All right. I'm not Mr. Gas man. All right. I don't know everything about anything. So if I don't know anything about oil prices like that, I can't predict the future. But do your fundamental research. Do your DD, because this has a lot to do with what's happening with the gas prices and petroleum and energy as a whole. So I think this is a really nice uptrend overall. Some real solid hits. It kind of looks like Wes and CDEV, right? It looks like the other plays are called today, right? Looks kind of like those as well. Not as consistent. It's more steep here. And overall, though, really nice trend. 1, 2, 3 solid hits. 4 seems to be holding after hours here with the little green boy. Looking good. Old resistance becomes a support. I'm wary because the main volume node comes from this action right here at $34. It wants to be closer to $34. So if it does break down, it will be pretty brutal. It will be very strong. So make sure you have risk management. When it comes to our indicators, 10 cross is too far away. We're not going to wait, 5-6% for that. You're buying into value. That's fine. RSI low, stochastic low, bulls low, and bears are high. Overall, WLL, it's making a broadening wedge, which means that it kind of is like 2 different trend lines going in different directions. All this means is that a new pattern will form soon. So I don't think it's bullish. I don't think it's bearish. But the higher lows and the higher highs consistently give me pause to think that it's probably going to be a bullish pattern that forms here, at least sideways pattern. And if that's the case, the support's there, the trend's there, it's a good value. Either way, you can manage risk, and I do like what I see. WLL, I'd watch this. It looks fantastic. Thanks again for watching this episode. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. And yeah, that's about it. Is today Tuesday or Wednesday? I said it's a good Tuesday. I think it's Wednesday, isn't it? No, it's Wednesday. Oh, snap. I didn't know what day it was. Well, that's how it goes when you're busy like I am. Idiot. Otherwise, have a good rest of you guys. It's Wednesday, my dude. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for one last episode for the week. Thanks.